Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to another apartment renovation in The Sims 4. So today's apartment renovation is actually part of our Building a Legacy apartment series that I started in, I can't remember if it was in November or in December of last year, but basically this whole apartment series is something that I'm kind of doing as a little like legacy type thing, where I'm building 6 different apartments, and each apartment is for a family, for a different family dynamic, I guess I could say. So I started off with one sim, and then, you know, in my head, the way the story progressed was that sim got married. So then I built a second apartment for them. The third apartment was for when they had their first child. The fourth apartment was for when they had their second child. This apartment is the 5th one, and in this apartment they actually have 3 kids. So they have a teenager, a child, and a toddler, and that's actually how I furnished the bedrooms as well. So the teenager and the child are both girls, and they actually share a bedroom, and then the toddler is a boy and he has his own little room. It's a very tiny room, by the way. And then obviously we have the master bedroom, and I'm actually doing all of these apartments with different budgets. So the first apartment that I did was actually a starter apartment. The second one, that was for the couple, that actually had, I think, a 30,000 simoleon budget, I think. And, you know, the budget just got a little bit more each time I, like, built a different one. So as the family got bigger, their budget got bigger as well. And this apartment I actually built with a 60,000 simoleon budget, and it actually came in at like 59,700 and something, so just under the 60,000 simoleon budget. And I'm also building this in San Myshuno. I'm building this in the Spice District, so this is built in the 2B Jasmine Suites apartment. So it's actually quite a small apartment. I mean, all of the apartments in The Sims 4 are kind of big if you think, you know, by like realistic standards. Realistically, an apartment this big would be incredibly expensive, but in The Sims, obviously scale and all of that stuff is just a little bit weird. So yeah, it's one of the smallest apartments in the game, but it's still quite big. I mean, I managed to fit in 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, as well as a separate kitchen, and then we have the dining room slash living room space. That's all kind of like one big open space. And yeah, so this is for 5 sims, budget of 60,000, and it is up on the gallery if you want to go ahead and download this. All of the apartments in this series are already up on the gallery, apart from the last one that I still have to build. But yeah, all 5 of the first ones are all up on the gallery. All of like the download information will be in the description, as well as a direct download link to the online gallery website. If you just want to grab it from, you know, the website, you can totally do that. And also, I should have mentioned this a little bit earlier, but when I started talking about, you know, the family dynamic, I will have put a picture of the family up on the screen so that you guys can see what they actually look like. And yeah, I've been doing this for all of the apartments in this series. I've actually been going through taking pictures of the family and, you know, giving them like makeovers and aging them, you know, as the series goes on. So obviously I started with one young adult, you know, they got married, had kids, all of that stuff, and I've kind of like aged them as, you know, the series has gone on, and obviously they've had kids, the kids have grown up, all of that stuff, and I'm trying to reflect, you know, the passage of time in these little like family portraits that I'm doing for the videos. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that. But I really like that. I really like, you know, putting the family actually up on the screen when I'm talking about them, so that you actually know who I'm talking about and you can like picture them a little bit better in your head if you're someone that likes doing that. But obviously, if you guys want to download this apartment, you don't have to download the family and play with this exact family. You can play with whoever you want in this apartment. I just built the apartment and like crafted the story around these specific sims that I had in my head. But yeah, like I said, obviously you can like download the apartment, renovate it, change up a little bit of the stuff, all of that stuff if you want to play with it. So yeah, feel free to do that. But yeah, so back to the apartment and the furniture and stuff. So you will notice that if you've been watching the series, I guess I should say, you will notice that I did indeed use a couple of the items from the previous apartments. I've been trying to do that for all of these apartments. I've been trying to bring stuff from their previous apartment into the new ones. So kind of like they've moved. And yes, they bought mostly new furniture every time they've moved into a new apartment. But I also wanted to bring some of their older stuff. So like maybe stuff that they have like sentimental value attached to them. So like a couple of the artwork, like pictures and stuff that I end up using, you'll like recognize from some of the previous apartments if you've watched them. If you haven't, I will leave a link on the screen to the playlist I think I made a playlist for specifically these apartments. I think I did. If I didn't, then I'll just leave my like apartment playlist up on the screen and they will all be under that playlist. But I will also leave all of them linked in the description if you want to go ahead and check out any of the previous ones. But yeah, so I basically brought a couple of the like artwork, like pictures and stuff from the old apartment, a couple of like clutter pieces like the cutting boards in the kitchen, and you know, some kids toys, kids clutter, all of that stuff that I figured, you know, they've had for a while. Maybe they've had it since, you know, their first daughter was born, or you know, stuff like that. Just random small knickknacks that I in my head think they would have attached like sentimental value to. And then I also brought over a couple of like bigger furniture pieces, like the little like hamster chair that I end up using in the toddler bedroom, as well as the bunk bed that I end up using in the like girls' room. So the top bunk bed is one that was actually in their previous apartment. I just ended up changing out the like bedspread, so like the colors of the bed. So yeah, I changed that. And yeah, I think that's most of the stuff that I brought over from the previous apartments. Basically just clutter items. I'm trying not to bring over big items like, you know, couches or whole like living room sets or stuff like that, just to make it not too repetitive. I don't want the apartments to look like I've just been rebuilding the exact same apartment just with a different layout. So I don't want it to get boring that way, even though I do try and stick to a, I guess, kind of cohesive color scheme for all of these apartments. I say like in air quotes, all of these apartments so far have had a strong like black, white, grey and blue color scheme like running through them, along with some like darker wood tones as well. So yeah, that's in my head just their style. I figured that would just be like Lucas and Katara's style, and that's just the thing that, you know, kind of makes these apartments look like they're for the same family. Like they're not all for like completely different, like wildly different families. So yeah, I've kind of been trying to do that. And as the family has grown, I've started, you know, as they've started getting like having more kids, I've also tried to make the apartment look a little bit more family friendly, so a little bit more mismatched, with like the sofas in the living room, for example, not all matching, with all of like the toys everywhere. And I'm trying not to make it too matchy, kind of like I said, like they've, like, I don't know, like not bought stuff from their old apartment, but yes, but also like they've, I don't know how to explain this, kind of like gathered furniture over the years, if that makes sense. That's just a realistic way that I'm trying to think about it. Obviously, it doesn't really work that way in The Sims if you don't want it to. But yeah, that's just how I was thinking about it in my head. But yeah, apologies if I'm a little bit all over the place and if I kind of have trouble, I guess, forming sentences properly. I'm recording this at like 5:30 in the morning. I have not slept yet. I stayed up for like, I don't even know how many hours yesterday. I went to bed at like 12:30 p.m. in the like afternoon after being up for like, I think almost 24 hours. And then I slept for about 6 hours, got up, and then at like 7 p.m. And yeah, I've been awake ever since then, and I'm just now sitting down to do this voiceover, which is probably not a good idea. But I've been in a rabbit hole of like reading fan fiction. Like for some weird reason, I've never read fan fiction before in my life. But I found this really cool like fan fiction about A Court of Mist and Fury. If you know the Court of Thorns and Roses books, you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I basically fell into a rabbit hole of reading and I've gotten completely obsessed. But yeah, if you guys follow me over on Twitter or Instagram, you know this. You know that's why I've been a little bit MIA the past 24 hours. And then obviously this video is the first video since I can't remember when. I think the last video that I posted was on like the 12th of January or something like that. So it has been a little bit more than a week since the last time I posted. But in that video, I did talk about the fact that I have started reading again. So videos will be a little bit all over the place for the next couple of weeks whilst I guess kind of get into a, I guess not routine, but whilst I'm finding my feet. I'm not used to having more than one thing that I enjoy doing. So usually it used to only be that I would, all my like fun time or like downtime would be dedicated to either recording videos like speed builds and stuff, or just playing the game. But recently I have been feeling a little bit burnt out with gaming in general, not just The Sims, just gaming in general. So I started reading again last year, and this year I think the reading bug has really bit me, and I'm kind of obsessed, and I kind of don't really want to do anything else. So yeah, if videos are a little bit more sparse and all over the place, then that would be why. I'm just doing some other stuff whilst I try and get some of my inspiration back. But I have started working on some other big builds and stuff like that that are just taking me a little bit longer to get done. But also I don't really mind that, because I told you guys that this year I've decided I'm really going to try and focus more on quality over quantity when it comes to YouTube videos. So I'm really going to try and focus on doing builds that I really want to do and that I really want to get done. Even if they take me forever to finish, I really want to focus on like not necessarily bigger builds, but just builds that I put my all into and that I really want to share, that I'm really proud of sharing, and not just doing videos for the sake of having like 2 or 3 videos up every week. I really don't want to do that. If I get to a point where I have that many videos that are ready and that are done and ready to be shared like in 1 week, then great, I will do it. I don't have a schedule at the moment, so if I end up posting 3 videos a week, then fantastic. If I end up posting 5 videos a week, if there's like a big release coming out or something like that, then even better. But if I also just post 1 video a week and they're bigger builds that have taken me longer, or just if I'm busy and can only get to 1 video a week, then that's also okay. Or at least that's what I'm trying to tell myself when it comes to videos this year. But yeah, so that's basically just a little bit of a life update. In case you were wondering, most of you probably weren't. But yeah, so this build is almost over. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give the video a like. And if you're new to the channel and you'd like to see some more Sims content, then feel free to hit the subscribe button, and remember to turn on the notification bell as well to be notified of whenever I upload a new video, because my schedule is so all over the place. But I hope you're all having a great day and that you've had a great week, and I'll talk to you in my very next video. Bye everyone!
You want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find somewhere to hide when we were kids, so we could see and hear the water run. The river's gonna cry when you're gone. Hanging on, waiting for your call. Seems like time as a wave passing by, leave a mark in our minds to turn to memories. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, gone.